Now, somewhere, somehow, someone's gonna pay. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando.
Welcome back to Retro Wednesday, the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and today we're going to talk to you about the 1985 Diamond Toys Commando toy line. This toy line is very underrated, unknown. Very few people have made any videos about it at all whatsoever. So please be the first to take a look at the entire toy line of Diamond Toys 1985 Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando toy line coming up. These toys can't be based off a cartoon because I can't find a single cartoon that showcases it, but obviously based on the movie very loosely. These other characters do not match anyone else. None of the bad guys match the bad guys, and there really weren't very many good guys to help out good old Schwarzenegger there. But with that, the movie itself was sort of a response to the 1982 Rambo. They even copied the first name John. They couldn't think of anything other than John Rambo, John Matrix. But it's still a fun watch, even today, to go back and watch it again. And I found that I've watched Rambo way more than I've watched Commando. This movie is decent, but the Rambo series is much more popular than this. There's so many more Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that blew up. And this one, oddly enough, is still kind of a classic. And I enjoy watching it. As he kills the bad guys, kills the baddies, and gets his daughter back, old Alyssa Milano. But Commando, good watch. So we'll start out with the packaging. They did come on blister card backs, $1.92 at the Kmart. Does it show? $1.92 at the Kmart. And you get the figure, and these are both different sizes and different scales, which we will look at. And this one here is for the 3.75 inch. And on the back it shows C-Team and F.E.A.R. F.E.A.R is an acronym, I guess, for the bad guys. And Diamond Toy Makers in there, 1985. And we got Matrix, Spex, Blaster, Chopper, Sawbones, Stalker, Leadhead, and Psycho. But on the 6-inch card, these were $3.99, so $4 figures in 1985. And not much more to see here. But this one is for Spex, and they only list 6, so I guess they only upscaled 6 of the characters. And with that, there's less of these in existence that I believe, and much harder to track down the 6-inch figures. So the card backs do look different, and yeah, it's always fun to see the packaging. We're going to start with Commando himself, and he is a pretty tall figure. Their obvious goal here was to have a toy line that matches G.I. Joe, and they did make way more of those because it's a lower price point at $2, and because it scales with your Joes, a little shorter than G.I. Joe. I mean, Cobra Commander's not the tallest figure out there, but then you get these guys, and he's about the same height as a Rambo figure, slightly taller, but the rest of them are a little shorter than him, so the rest of them actually fit in with your Rambo's toys. So they really did target Rambo with the toy line and G.I. Joe at the same time. Another Rambo toy line knockoff is M-Force from Macone Toys, something along those lines. I don't have a lot of those. I just have what showed up in Rambo lots, and some of the weapons, and I will be using one weapon from this toy line to showcase sort of what the knife looks like on the 6-inch figure. That all out of the way, John Matrix is the first of these characters and figures. I'm going to show both at the same time. I'm going to show the tall one here. So this is almost 7-inch scale, slightly like 6.8, and the other ones are like 6.7. So very close to pushing the 7-inch. So these really are going to be taller than your G.I. Joe classified figures for the most part, or maybe the same size as some. And with that, we'll start with the bigger one. Now, he only comes with one of these holsters, and you can put it wherever you want, arm, leg, but I ended up getting an extra one down the road. Also, he comes with a knife that goes into his vest, and all the 6-inch, 7-inch ones have vests, and he comes with an Uzi. Now, there's a second version of him, and so there's two. I'm going to try to put both pictures up, but they made a standard one that was just this release, and then there was one that was released on the card back, similar to the other figures in here, and the one that's released on that card back, does not have all of the same accessories. Does not have the gun in the holster, and it does have a quadra missile launcher like him. So there are two different versions of him out there, same figure and everything, but just accessories changed and packaging changed. Now getting into the 3.75 inch one, you can sort of make out that he is Arnold. There's his launcher, supposed to have a strap on that launcher, but I've seen some of these that have some good face paint on them. Mine does not. So some have face paint, some don't. Might have just rubbed off in playwear, and I do have a little bit too much light on him. Hard to see the face. Now each one of these comes, the good guys, the C team, the good guys, C team, come with a small Uzi, which I don't know if that would fit Snake Eyes' hand. And then they have waist swivel. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of articulation, 7, 8, because the knees move. So 8 points of articulation in these figures. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. The vest is static on it. They do have a screw in the back, so they could wear a backpack if need be. So there he is, John Matrix, for both scales. And we're going to look at both scales as we go forward throughout all this. I kind of think that the other figures are more interesting than this because there's probably like 6 reviews of this guy and none of the rest. One other thing I really didn't point out, and I don't have enough stands for all these, but I don't have to get them. They use Joe stands, so the holes in the feet work on the Joe stand just fine. So I want to point that out. So this one here is called Chopper. And Chopper has this crazy kind of a machine gun that connects in, and I should be very careful, but it connects in with 2 holes, and it goes into here. And then this rests on top, and it plugs in. So this is like 2 parts, and which is confusing when you collect this because you see like it's set up, it looks like 1 part, but it really is 2 parts. Plus he comes with the Uzi, and he's got some teal pants, kind of a redhead dude, and get the lighting right so you can get a good focus on him. But he does have full paint for eyes. You got eyeballs, you got a mustache, and some good stuff in there for him. But not a bad looking figure overall. Kind of plain. They all look very similar and plain, and I think they have the exact same legs. And then the good guys share one torso and the bad guys share another torso, and John Matrix has his own. So I think that's how that goes, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just crazy. But anyway, okay, here we go with, that's Chopper. They did not make a 6-inch one, or if they did, I don't have them, and he's not on my list. Next up we have Spex, and I just assume that this is the Spex that goes with the 6-inch line because the colors are very similar and yet different. I mean, he's got like teal, not teal, kind of pinkish mauve? Is mauve, okay. Mauve versus black, same right there. And with that, he comes with these specs. So he comes with binoculars. He's kind of like a pee-pee tong. No. And they plug in like the other one, as these are, just feels fragile, like you could break this stuff. And then he comes with the Uzi. And he's got some molded in stuff on the back. And of course mine have paint wear. Mine are not in the greatest shape. I try to get them just as cheap as possible and not have to shell out too much. Now, these bigger 6-inch ones, I assume they have the same accessories. I see them in the package. I'll try to put package up as I go through this in editing, but instead of an innie, he's got an outie. So there's holes in the bigger one to push over this versus those having pegs to push into the figure. I don't know why they went that route. Plus these all have their own vests that are removable, so you could see like bare chest dude, and they have the same Uzi, which is why this is pretty common Uzi, the same Uzi as the John Matrix figure. But there's Spex. I wish I had all of the accessories for the 6-inch figures, but sadly there's just 7-inch figures. There's just not very many accessories in existence, and so with that I just have to do without. The last guy on the C team is Blaster. Now I have to say, Blaster seems to have a 6-inch variant because I can't see that this would match anything for another character, but they're different. They're just so different. He's got darker skin tone than he does, and orange versus yellow, and then all of this darker brown, lighter brown. There's no way that just faded over time. That is just completely different. They are different colorations. Not sure why. I mean, they didn't make very many of these, yet there's variants. And maybe that's what they did. Maybe they were like, well, let's make them look up a little different. The same character that looks a little different, give them variants so you could deck out more soldiers for $4 a piece. That's a possibility. Now, why is this guy called Blaster? Because he's got a giant cannon on his chest that plugs in, and he would have a giant cannon that you'd put on those pegs too if I had them all the complete stuff. It's much easier to complete these smaller guys, definitely by far, but it has that camo on them, and I mean, again, it just feels like the good guys have the same chest and the bad guys have the same chest, and they just paint them different. But anyhow, this is a pretty interesting little figure here. This little piece here is kind of challenging to get your hands on, and also I have to say I think that getting the Uzis is a little harder than I thought it would be to get the little Uzis. And I will showcase in a bit. They're the same size and mold as the Uzi that's connected to Leadhead. So the first F.E.A.R figure, which I don't know what F.E.A.R stands for, so I'm going to say it's like freaking evil, annoying renegades. Does that sound good? But this one is going to be Stalker, which does not at all match the art. I mean, look at what they're saying the art of Stalker should be. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, this figure is interesting. He's got a little crossbow on his arm, and with that, these all come with a knife, so I'll try to show a little knife picture somewhere up here for this bad guy. He's a baddie, and so knives are an issue. And with that, the little crossbow with him, that's fun and stuff. As you can see, he's got the yellow on the front, but these guys, so they don't have any attachments to their chests, so they're just standard kind of vests. It's a vest, and that's cool. Now, this accessory is much different. The way they go about these bigger ones is not an exact copy one-to-one of these smaller ones. In fact, if you see what it does, and you could pop this out of here. It's actually kind of hard to get in there, so I'm glad I've got it in good, but this is one separate piece. This collapses for some reason, and it's just a different construction than these smaller ones, which are just one piece. It's all molded in one piece. It goes over the hand. So that's weird and strange. There's no action features to any of these figures, but shoving his hand in there, did I want it on that hand? Shoving the hand in there with the accessory is really strange. Now, the knife the big ones come with, I don't have a good picture of it, but it looks something like this, kind of closer to the Rambo knife than this, but this is the one from the M-Force. And I'm only using it to show this. I'm going to put it back with M-Force when I'm done. Eventually, I'll probably get the correct accessories, or somebody will make some good reproductions or something. I'd be happy with a set of reproductions if somebody made them. Next up, we're going to look at Sawbones, and we did not get a 6-inch version of him. So either thank God or, oh, that sucks, one or the other, because tracking down the 6-inch ones really suck. But he comes with an eye patch. Sawbones and the eye patch. And he also comes with a circular saw attached to him, all one piece. And he comes with, there's a fist on the back of him. There's probably a fist on the back of him too. It comes with a knife, and I've already shown that, a close-up of that. But I should get stands for these. It'll make my life a whole lot better. But he's kind of got some pink and yellow, or maybe it's pinkish, reddish, pinkish, and yellow. This is Sawbones with his circular saw at the end of his arm. Next up is Leadhead, and this is not the correct vest. It's just what I had laying around that worked for it. And so with that, we're going to move him out of the way real quick, because we're going to take a look at the 3.75-inch one first. and then we'll get into what's going on with the bigger guy. And so I want to point this out. There are two versions. I think they're equally rare or available. So you've got the one with the whitish, and he's got some pattern and the feet. Then you got the one with the black and the black pattern for the camo. And aside from that, he's got a different skin tone. So it's not just a paint variant. There is a skin tone variation on him. He does wear some sort of kind of a is it a hockey mask? Not really. It's a welder mask is what it looks like. A welding mask. And he comes with one of these little blasters, one of these Uzis. But it's connected to this. It's all one piece. But these tiny Uzis are shaped exactly the same as the Uzis for them. So it's the same exact Uzi. If I was short one, I was considering snipping this off because I had an extra one of these. But now I got another figure, so I don't have an extra one. Glad I didn't snip it off. But I have, as long as one of each of my good guys, my C team, has an actual Uzi, then I'm happy. So let's get up here and take a quick look at the bigger lead head. And he would have a vest that looked more like those over there. I have no idea where this vest came from. I bought a lot of Rambo lots over the years, and I just kept stuff that was just interesting that I liked, but I didn't know what it went to, and I thought I had more stuff that would have gone with this line. This is a challenge. This Uzi comes off, and it's more or less the same Uzi as what we got with the bigger figures, except it has this other little piece in it, and it's real rubbery. Like the other ones are hard, and this one's real flexible and rubbery, I guess, so that it can get accepted into this hole. And it's strange. It is strange. I think they did this way so that they could make this. This is one piece, this is one other piece, and then they separately manufacture each of the accessories that plug into it. How I think they did it. But there he is, Leadhead, and the two variant figures. There's probably a variant for every single figure that they made. There are probably two of every figure if you could track them down. See, I gotta say, probably the coolest figure in the toy line, and none of these figures match any of the characters in the movie. This is Psycho. Psycho is the coolest figure. He has a mohawk, kind of like, it's got a mohawk. Kind of feels a little bit like Mad Max-ish, kind of like the figures that they made, the Steel Monsters and the Punk figure. But he's got a hockey mask on, and a pretty cool looking figure overall. I do like him. He's got the fist on the back. I bet all the bad guys do. I should have shown all that. But interesting color scheme. Looks like a lot of fun for figure. But at the end of the day, I don't think he sold well enough. And even him, he didn't save the sales. I probably have this upside down. He's got a little chainsaw on there. So instead of a circular saw like we saw before with Sawbones, Psycho has a chainsaw. And kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know. They were incorporating a lot of things into this. They were just kind of thinking up what could we do for bad guys. And let's make them not look like the movie, so we can say it's not based on the movie, even though it was. And if there was a cartoon, if somebody's like, hey, I knew of a cartoon, like, how do you search for it? Where can you find it? I would love to give it a watch, at least a couple episodes. But there's Psycho, and that's the last one. Hope you enjoyed this look at the 1985 Diamond Toys Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando toy line. And it's a fun little toy line to collect. The smaller ones are easier than the bigger ones, it seems like. And they're pretty reasonably priced as vintage toys go this day and age. I just think most people don't know about it, and it's not on very many people's radar. But let me know what you think about this. Do you like the Commando movie? Should there have been a second Commando movie? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Till Jeremy hang around.
Hasta luego, fellas.
Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired.
If you want your kid back, then you gotta cooperate. Right?
Wrong.
Bennett, I thought you were...
Dead?
You thought wrong. Until the next time.
No chance.